This is Jerome Shaw, host of the Open Palm Podcast, motivator, meditator, coming to you live with a message on one of the strangest secrets to enriching your life. And also one of the strangest secrets that can free energy, bringing in new and fresh energy into your space. And what we do for one, we do for another. So, what is this strangest secret? And I'm glad that I appreciate that. Thank you, Haruka. You're complimenting my shirt here. I appreciate you. Yeah, I get them online. This strangest secret actually comes to us, and the message from our friend Camila, the prophetess. Go follow her at prophetess_Camila. And she says, remove clutter as soon as possible. There's a reason you feel so good after cleaning. Your home is an extension of your aura. Getting rid of old belongings that aren't aligned with who you are anymore. Old things carry old energy. Broken things can carry stuck energy. Release them all. So have you ever found in your life that certain things in your life hold and carry an energy signature, keeping you in a state whenever you see them around your vicinity, whenever you're in close proximity? I remember I had a good friend talk about one of her friends at her job that came over. She went to her house and she was asking her, like, what can I do? I feel stuck. I feel burdened. I feel like there's this energy that's weighing me down. And she realized that she had just gotten out of a long relationship. And she had been with someone for a long period of time. And so the two of them went into her closet and she looked around and she saw certain things, like a jacket here, some clothes there. And she was like, well, where did you get these things? And she said, oh yeah, my boyfriend, he gave them to me. But she was trying to get him off of her mind. And so they decided to move these things out of the house, out of the vicinity. And what do you know? Things started to get better. She started to feel better. All of a sudden, a weight seems to be lifted. A burden seemed to let go of her. What is this magic thing, this magic of tidying up, this magic of getting the old energy out to bring in the new? Out with the old and in with the new, they say. It's a very interesting thing that I have found in my journey as well. That when we can declutter our space, we declutter our minds, we declutter our hearts, our energy field, our energy matrix that brings in things to our life. It's interesting that a lot of the things that I felt like I was holding on to were actually holding me back. Clutter sometimes steals our energy and joy. It is like looking at visual noise all around you. And I still deal with this today because I come from a family that loves to hold on and loves to keep things, that doesn't like to let go. They want to hold on to things for dear life. And if you've ever felt this in your life, then maybe you felt the same. Maybe you felt stagnant, unmoving, stuck. Perhaps it was also about the things that you saw externally that were influencing the feelings that you had internally. So what we do for one, we do for the other. We can rob ourselves of psychic energy whenever we see all sorts of clutter all around us. They say a disorderly space is the sign of a disorderly mind. It's a sign that not everything is going on up there as it should. Not everything is in order when our house is not in order, when our space is not in order. There were times when I would jump in my car and I would be pushing aside fast food meals and different papers and different projects and research and all sorts of books and all sorts of things. I remember when I went off to California and taking like 3 suitcases, 4 boxes, all these things with me to California that I didn't need, that I wasn't even going to use anyway. Boxes of books, right? Bags and bags of clothes. And I ended up giving these things away. I had a good friend named Andrew, who's still my friend today, and he gave me this technique. I call it the box technique. Take some of your belongings and put them in a box. And put that box somewhere in the corner. And just leave it in the corner for maybe a few weeks to a month. If after that month you don't go to that box for anything, you don't open that box for anything, give it away. Just give it away. Donate it. Don't even worry about where it's going to. If you can't find somebody to take it, leave it at the end of the block. It will be gone. Right? And when I did this, so many things started to come to me in life. When I exercised the 80-20 rule, one of the best books that I've ever read by Richard Koch, the 80-20 principle, teaching me that 80% of the things I only used 20% of the time, and 20% of the things I used 80% of the time. Right? You can use it anywhere. 20% of your actions are giving you 80% of the results, and vice versa. You look in your closet, 80% of your clothes you only wear 20% of the time, but 20% of your clothes you probably wear 80% of the time. So then it was just about taking that 80% that I wasn't using and giving that away, keeping the 20% that I enjoyed, that I appreciated, that I was grateful for, and that I was using. Understanding that energy is never lost. It only changes form. The thing that held me back from letting things go was the fear of lack and scarcity, the fear that I was losing something. That's what held me back for so long. But when I started to let things go, it became a fun game. It was like, what else can I let go? After donating these books, after selling all these games and movies and all sorts of stuff, it was like, wow, the experiences, the opportunities, the relationships, the people, the knowledge, the downloads, the frequencies, the vibrations, the energy that came back into my life when I let these physical things go. It got me emotional because I had no idea that everything, all the freedom that I was seeking was on the other side of my fear. And that by letting things go, I received so much. It is a saying in Taoism, if you want to be full, be empty. If you want to be given everything, give everything up. So start to look around you and see the 80-20 exercised in your life. What is the 20% of things that you use 80% of the time? And if your stuff isn't serving you, realizing that it won't be serving you any better packed away into a box, in a garage, into a storage container. It's not helping you. And if that energy is not circulating, then it's just sitting there collecting dust. And when I understood that I could improve somebody else's quality of being, I could donate these books for people who would read them, who would watch these movies, who would play these games, who would use these things that I wasn't using. It became so much fun. Now, I'm not saying you have to be like me, right? I'm more of a minimalist today. I have all my clothing in one suitcase, which was really cool because when a friend called me up to take a 2-week trip around the US, all I had to do was zip up my suitcase and walk outside. That was the least of my worries, was packing. You don't have to be like that. But I feel like minimalism is often misunderstood. People think, oh, to be a minimalist, I have to have less things. But I think it's more about using the things you do have, appreciating the things you do have. And if you find that there are so many things in your space that you don't even interact with, you don't appreciate, you don't even touch, then what is that energy doing there? I broke everything down to just energy. All these books I'm not reading, they're just energy. All these movies I haven't watched, they're just energy sitting there. These video games I haven't played, they're just energy. And when you let go of that energy, so much more comes back. So, outer order contributes to inner calm. The law of correspondence, as above, so below, as within, so without. You start to see that your orderly space makes an orderly mind. Things come into order. Pieces start to come together when we get our house together. And it's a wonderful thing to be able to think clearly, to have less brain fog when you have less visual noise, less stimulation that is always in the background. Your subconscious mind doesn't miss a beat. It's picking up on everything. So if you have clutter here, clutter there, clutter there, clutter there, there's a disturbance. DTP, it's disturbing the peace. So keep your peace. You know, clutter isn't just the stuff in your closet. It can also be anything that gets between you and the life that you want to be living. I started to take a look at the apps on my phone, the applications, the things that I wasn't using, the things that were just taking up space visually, right? I started to practice digital minimalism where I would put my screen, it's been on grayscale for many months now. So everything I see on my screen is all black and white. You know, allowing me to appreciate more the color in real life, the color in reality away from my devices, right? And also putting all these applications into one spot, realizing that all this visual stimulation whenever I'm interacting with my technology can be taxing on the mind, taking away from the psychic energy that I could devote to giving you a message every day, every rising, right? The energy that I could devote to putting into my business, to putting into my life, to expanding my mind, my consciousness was being taken up by these material things, these physical things, and things that I wasn't even worried about, that didn't even matter, that were just collecting dust. Like they say, the book you don't read won't help you. The book on the shelf is not self-help, it's shelf-help. So when I went to the library with a crate of books, with a whole box of books, and started giving away boxes, the librarian, the lady said, "Are you sure? Really? You're giving this away? Like, there's some good stuff in here. Like, really?" I said, "Yes, just take it. Whoever it goes to, they'll appreciate it more than me. Just have it, keep it." And she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, who comes in here with boxes of books and just gives them away? But it wasn't about the books. It was about the energy. When I broke it down to energy, getting that stuff out of my space brought more fresh energy into my life. It was enriching me. Because I started to realize that the more things I owned, the more things owned me. It is a question of the more things you have in life, the more things you have to look after, the more things you have to take care of, the more things that are pulling at you, energetic cords and strings and bonds that when they are not severed are always pulling you this way and that, your attention pulling you this way and that, your focus pulling you this way and that, concentration pulling you this way and that, right? Where is the energy left when we come back home to a cluttered abode? Don't be cluttered on the inside as you are cluttered on the outside. So the message, you are so much more than the sum of your stuff. So much more than your material possessions. You have so much more value than the things you place your value in. Perhaps you are like I was, drawing significance for having more. But now I realize that I was always worth more than I gave myself credit, and that these things did not determine my worth. So one of the first steps to getting what you want in life, bringing the situations, the relationships, the opportunities, the places that you want to travel to go to feel unburdened, unstuck, unmoving, to get your body going, to get that energy circulating in life, is having the courage to get rid of the things that you don't. Sometimes realizing that something has been shackling you, tethering you to those old energies, all you have to do is let go. And it can move you forward that much faster. So what in your life could you give up today to gain everything that you are yearning for? Everything that you think you don't have enough time for, or that are just not in the cards for you. What if it was just as easy as letting go the things that aren't serving you, the things that you're not using anyway, and that someone else could gain value from and use? Thank you so much for being. I appreciate you. Thank you for being in this space and receiving the message. Much love to you. This has just been a short message today on something that can enrich your life. And you know, when you think about it, I used to play this game. It was the Sims game, if anybody's played the Sims. And I used to play it on PlayStation. And you know, they'd be talking to each other in Simlish. I think it was like gibberish, but in Sim speak. And they were like, and then you would see all around your place, you'd be responsible for tidying up your house. And there'd be a little smiley face in the corner of your character. And this smiley face, if you didn't tidy up, if the place was a mess, it'd be a frown. But as soon as you start putting away the garbage, as soon as you start cleaning up the space, as soon as you start rearranging the house, all of a sudden that frown turned upside down. Now your sim was happy. Your sim was overjoyed, jumping up and down because your house was in order. So, how can we draw these connections and comparisons, letting go of the visual noise? You know, there's a thing called The Strangest Secret, and it's by Earl Nightingale. And I remember he said, everything that's really worthwhile in life came to us free. Our minds, our souls, our bodies, our hopes, our dreams, our ambitions, our love of family and children and friends and country. All these priceless possessions are free. But the things that cost us money are actually very cheap and can be replaced at any time. A good man can be completely wiped out and make another fortune. He can do that several times. Even if our house burns down, we can rebuild it. But the things we got for nothing, we can never replace. So, much love, my friend. Thank you so much for being. Thank you for your love, your light, your energy. Out with the old and in with the new. Share this with somebody who you feel would gain value from this message. Definitely, post this on your story or just throw it up somewhere or just send it to someone. Even one person hearing this message that gains value is more than enough. Hit the bell notification next to my name to be notified whenever we do these live sessions. And check out the Open Palm podcast. That's the one in the bio there for you, your listening pleasure, your daily inspiration. Be well, be blessed, and have less stress with less clutter in your life. Whenever there's less noise, there's more joy. Take care. Be well.